This CamTwist Studio tutorial will show you how to create new buttons inside the Studio interface. Now, I'm using a brand new version of Studio that has no safe setups whatsoever, so my interface is completely blank. If you've upgraded from version 1.7, or if you've used the main CamTwist interface before, you may have a few objects down here already, but this is assuming this is the first time you've ever used the program and it's completely blank. Let's first add a webcam into Studio. I'm going to click New Button right down over here, and you'll see it created a brand new object, a brand new button. It's green, which means it's been placed into my preview, but there's nothing there. So let's add something there. You'll also notice it created a row right up here in my selected buttons. It's also green. All of these colors match, indicating, this object in this selected buttons area is green, which is green with the preview, which all means it's in preview. I'll click Elements, and this is my list of all the different elements that I can add in there. I'm just going to add a webcam for now, so I'll double click on it. You'll notice that it added a webcam object here, which I can then play with by clicking on it, and I can adjust all of its settings. These are all the different input cards I've got. So I'm just going to leave it on the Logitech webcam for now. I'm going to give it a name, so I'll double click on Untitled. I'll call it Cam1. And I'm going to click Save. And now I've created a brand new button. Now you'll notice in the interface, it popped from this top row to this bottom row that has a slightly tighter pattern. These are your save setups that have no graphic overlays, and then every row above it are save setups with graphic overlays. So these are background elements only. Now CamTwist was smart enough to know you put a full screen webcam in there, this can only be a background element, so it put it to the bottom row. One other cool thing I can do, if I right click, I can say Snapshot Icon. And so it creates a snapshot of the icon. I can easily look in my matrix down here and see exactly what that icon is. That's all nifty, but let's also add a slideshow of images. I could go through the same process, click New Button, go to Elements, find Slideshow, double click. That's way too cumbersome. I don't want to do that. Let's delete that button. So I'll click the X and hit Yes. Now I want to do something way simpler and easier. I'm going to open up a folder of different images. I'm going to select all the different images that I want to bring into the CamTwist interface. And do I want this to be an overlay, or do I want it to be a background? Well, for these are full screen, so I'm going to select background. So I'm just going to drag it right down there. If I want it to be an overlay, I'd drag it into one of the overlay buttons. But we'll drag all those right there. You'll see it creates a brand new button called Untitled. It automatically moves it up to this. Says green there. I've got my slideshow. And look, I've got all my different objects sitting right in there. I'm going to double click here. We're going to call this Cool Images. And we're going to save it. And that's a pretty cool image, so I'll snapshot that icon. By the way, whatever's on the screen, so if I keep snapshotting icon, you'll see this icon changes, and if that image changes and I snapshot, then that's what it's going to take, and that applies to movies as well. And oh yeah, I can do the same thing with movies. So I'm going to take I've got this calendar.mov file, I'll take that and drag it right there, and you can see it's automatically, let's play it right about to there. We'll snapshot that icon. We're going to call this the calendar. Sweet, now I've got a couple different things that I cut between right inside of CamTwist, and I very quickly and easily created these objects just by dragging and dropping them right into the interface. I can do overlays that much the same way. So I'm going to take I've got a graphics, a PSD file from Photoshop. I'm just going to drag it right over here. I'll click on that. Actually, I'll put that in my preview as well. And now you can see, by the way, I can work with multiple objects over here. And see, this is amber indicating it's going off air, so it's amber over here. And these two objects are about to go on air. I'll click on Image Overlay. I'm going to give this a scale of 2. I'm going to slide it down a little bit. This was designed for a 16:9 setup. Whoops. And we'll move it into place. Great. We're going to call that nameplate. We're going to save it. I'll grab a snapshot of that. Brilliant. That's done. And now I can put that on top of anything. I can cut to that. I can leave that on the screen and just cut to my slideshow. I can take that, bring it off the screen. I've created that overlay. It's really cool. Now I'm going to show you one quick secret that you can do. Not only can you have alpha channels in PSD files and PNG files and do the same thing I did. See, there's an alpha channel. You can kind of see behind me how it's got transparency back there, but I can do the same thing with videos too. So I'm going to take my, this is set for 16:9, so forgive me, it's going to have this weird letterbox effect, but there you've got a video. This is just a animation file that I created that is a 24 or a millions plus colors animation file that I created in Final Cut Pro. I'll hit clear background. I'm actually going to scale that. Let's scale that. Can I scale it to 3? Will it let me? No, didn't think so. All right, so there we go, and I'm going to cut that. Now watch what happens. Pretend this was a 16:9 setup. Check this out. The alpha channel kicks in, and you can actually reveal back to your camera using alpha channels right inside of your video, inside of CamTwist. So CamTwist allows you to do some of those really cool things that the broadcasters normally do. And I created all of these setups very quickly and easily. We'll call that Space News.
just by dragging and dropping right inside of my studio interface. And you can see how quickly and easily I can cut between everything, bring elements on and off the air, and make my own internet television show. When I'm done and I just say, you know what, I don't like the space news, and it was it was 16 by 9, it wasn't right. Let's go ahead and delete that. I'll just click on the X on the right hand side. It says, are you sure you want to delete that button? You'll see that in the interface, space news has now disappeared right here, and boom, it's gone. That's how you create and modify and save buttons inside the new CamTwist Studio interface.